Hello ladies and gentlemen, Forrest Walker here, welcome back to another video. It's not a live stream this time, but I did want to make a video in regard to something that I talked about a number of days ago. This is actually an update based on what I discussed on that Hogwarts Legacy live stream that the discussion that I did on that day. Last night, I was on Twitter, because of course I was, right? And I was watching a video that made some rounds mainly in the VTuber community, because I am a supporter of that community to some degree. Like not not every single person, but a number of them that I respect and support. But as I was doing that, there was this video toward Silvervale. She made a video on Twitch. She live streamed on Twitch at some point. I don't exactly know when. I'm guessing it was probably last night, if not just recently. But so she went back live on Twitch, and she, under no uncertain terms, made it very clear that she was not very happy with, the people, doing what they've been doing to her. She went on to say, specifically what's been getting her in a bit of hot water is that she was wanting to play a wizard game, Harry Potter, Hogwarts Legacy, right? She's been wanting to play that game, and she's not going to let some, quote, Twitter freaks stop her from doing so. She was not going to stop playing the game, etc., etc., etc. There is the clip on Twitter, and I have no problem linking the full video. I'm pretty sure a video of what she said is on YouTube, and I have no problem putting a link to it in the description of this video. But specifically, her comments calling people, quote, Twitter freaks has been making the rounds, as well as a few other things, but we'll kind of get into that a little bit, but I want to do it a little bit quickly. So, first and foremost, as far as her calling the number of people who have been harassing, bullying, and sending her death threats Twitter freaks is in no way transphobic. Because, again, it is possible that a number I don't know if every single person of the community, but, well, not the community, but also people who quote unquote support the community, are making that community look bad in their own way. But at the same time, people just going off on her saying Twitter freaks, and I'm thinking, like, that's not transphobic. It really isn't, because the term so-and-so freak is basically somebody, in this case, a Twitter freak, is somebody who spends majority of their time on Twitter. Equivalent to the term internet freak, where it's somebody who spends time on the internet, regardless of what they're doing or how they're spending their time on Twitter/the internet. They're still a Twitter/internet freak, because that's what they're doing. they're on the internet, or they're on Twitter. So for me, I really did not see that as transphobic, and people were even saying she's being transphobic in that regard. It's just she's calling out people who in her view have, they're just spending a good amount of most of their time on Twitter than anything else. Of course, I feel like that's just her anger saying such, which is another thing. People felt like she should have waited until she calmed down some before she said anything, which I will agree. Because when you're really upset, you tend to not think too clearly on your words. You might actually say something that later that day or later that week you're gonna look at, or even later in the month you're gonna look at and be like, Yeah, I wish I could reword what I just said there, you know. But that's human nature. We all have or eventually will say something out of anger and then later be like, I wish I never said that, or I wish I could have said that differently. Every single one of us is guilty in that regard. And then, of course, you know, the people, and then they're talking about her fans, how they're harassing people. This, in some way, may be true, but in other ways, it could actually be false. As I said to somebody else, you can't actually control what your fans do. All you can control what they say or how they act toward others in your own stream, of course, but you can never do that with them outside of it. Like, you can keep telling them over and over, okay, guys, this is getting really ridiculous now. Y'all need to stop. But then they're still going to keep on going because the power of anonymity is what keeps them going acting like this. On top of that, a number of the people that are acting like her quote unquote fans, and I say that loosely because there are people on the internet who will, with the power of anonymity, yes, I can't help but say it like that, I'm sorry, but there will be people on the internet who will pretend to be fans of somebody. Like, they could say, "Oh, I'm a fan of so and so," and then try to paint them in a negative light. Kind of like how because haters and attention seekers be like that. Of course, it's got to be somebody famous. So that's where it's messed up. Now, in a conversation that I had with somebody on Twitter, I won't say the name, out of respect for that person. But one of the things that we were talking about was how, was part of what Silvervale was doing, and also not doing, in their words, um, as well as talking about, buying games that were considered controversial. Word for word, I basically, well, not exactly word for word, but I will say my response to that person was, simply put, the low key one. Another reason why she said she wanted to play the game, like I said earlier, she said she wanted to play the game because she was a fan of the Harry Potter franchise, but she doesn't care for J.K. Rowling, right? I'm the same way. I'm the same way. Everybody who's seen my Hogwarts Legacy live stream knows that. It was right there, and I said that. Um, but I responded to that person, and I said, she also went on a previous stream and said part of the reason why she's also supporting this, it is because a friend of hers was a game developer. Of course, we don't have any way to confirm whether or not she is lying. But so many people would instantly say she's lying just because we don't know the name of the person. But I don't really blame her for not revealing that information because they've already gotten, in her words, uh, hate in their, hate, harassment, and bullying and things like that in their own right. So it would make sense for her not to reveal a person's name if she knows they're going to be harassed and bullied just like how she was, if not a little bit less or worse than what she got, right? Um, but then when it came to controversial video games, I said, you kind of, in a way, this person proved my point in that, there's always going to be that one controversial video game outside of Hogwarts Legacy. The one that sticks to my mind instantly when I said that was The Last of Us Part 2. Everybody knows about, well, not everybody, but a number of people know about the build up toward Last of Us Part 2. Like, when it got near the release of the game, the plot, the story of the game was leaked online. I never seen it. because I'm not one to be looking for leaks of things involving video games. I'd rather be surprised, genuinely. Even if I heard about a leak and there's a link to an article talking about the leak, I'm not going to click on it. I'm not. I'm not going to click on it. Um, but also at the same time, you also had the shit going on in regard, like in the Naughty Dogs, in the business of Naughty Dog itself, like inside that uh, company, the video game company. So yeah. But yeah, that game was the most, I would say up until Hogwarts Legacy, Last of Us Part 2 is probably one of the more controversial games to be coming out. But, like I said to the person, not everybody's gonna get a game that's controversial. And, and anybody that does buy a controversial game knows the price that they're going to pay because they bought this game. In the case of Hogwarts Legacy, everybody that is choosing to buy the game knows that the risk of buying it is giving a hated person, J.K. Rowling, some money. They all understood it, but they all chose to buy the game anyway. So, at the end of the day, to me, it is their choice. I still agree, I still stand by with what I said earlier, that it is the choice of the individual to buy the game, whether they want to or not, and to not harass or bully them just because they bought the game, this controversial game that for one reason or another, you, generally speaking, don't like. And I'm saying that to everybody. Like, I don't like, games that involve seasons, like Fortnite. I kind of like Fall Guys. It is a pretty fun game, but I just don't like, but the problem that I have with it is, like I said, the seasons that they do with this game, and I heard they're doing it with a Disney racing game that's coming out, if it hasn't already been out already. I just can't get behind those type of games. I really can't. They may be free, but at the same time, I really feel like you don't need seasons in video games. You could just do updates. You don't need to do seasons for video games. Leave the seasons to the TV shows, man. you know? But that's a different topic altogether. I'm getting kind of off topic. But the fact of the matter, but the whole point of the whole point is, you know, try to be good people. Like, if you don't like somebody playing a game, just leave them alone. They're doing nothing wrong to you, person. You may not like that they're buying a game that you don't like for your own personal reasons, but at the end of the day, it is their money. You cannot control what they do with it, and let alone you can't control what they do on their channel. So just, just be good. Just be adults here. Don't ever stoop to the level of being an asshole to other people just because they're doing just because they're playing something that you don't like, regardless of the reason. It's that simple. But the problem is a number of people, not everybody, but a number of people on the internet, whether it be social media or on streaming services, because they have the power of anonymity, they feel like they can say or do whatever they want, but they forget terms of service can kick your ass if you're not too careful with that, buddy. But yeah, so that is the moral of the story. I just wanted to give an update on the whole stream there, like the post stream update on Silvervale situation and my personal take on it. Now, like I said in that live stream, if you guys, it's always nice to have a good conversation. If you guys want to have a conversation in the comments down below, go ahead and do so. But two things. Number one, do not insult anybody, because I had somebody do that to me in that live stream video. And I deleted that, and I reported that comment because it is, by definition, bullying. Even though I expected it before I even made that live stream. I expected people to be like that. But also, just try not to go too crazy with people. Just have fun with the people that you want to support. You know, have fun playing the games. Just don't go crazy when people are playing games that you don't like. Just don't watch that stream, you know? Just be good people. I don't think I need to explain it. But even though I've said it like 3 times now. But alright, I'm gonna stop repeating myself. You guys, but at the end of the day, you know, even after all the conversations that we may or may not have in the comments, I wish everybody a good rest of your day, and I will see you guys tonight playing WWE 2K14 Universe Mode. Yeah, a little quick announcement at the end there, I know. But I just wanted to say that real quick while it was in my head. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And until tonight, this is Forrest Walpole signing off.